decided to build a lounge chair for my pool deck. I want something I could fold away easily. I seen this one online and it was fairly priced, but had a few design flaws that people were complaining about. So I decided to model my own after this one. I started with a couple of 2 by 4 by 8 feet rough cut cedar planks, which are more like 1.5 inches by 3 3/4. I cut 2 pieces off of each plank, one 28 inches for the back section and 36 inches for the seated section. Then I resawed each piece into the desired thickness of 1.25 inches, which left me with 1/2 inch slats that I could use later on in the project. Then I ripped down the 1.25 inch pieces to a 3-inch width. It's important to use your dust mask when cutting cedar. It leaves a very fine dust and it floats in the air. I marked the ends so I could round off the corners. I used the bandsaw to round off the ends. Sanded everything down smoothly. Then I relieved the edges with an 1/8 inch router bit. I'm only showing you 2 of the 4 pieces, but it's the same process. After the routing, I sanded all the flat surfaces. I used a tape to make a full circle out of the half circle ends. That way I could find the center, replacing the bolt. I clamped the 2 pieces together for quicker drilling and to get a more accurate hole placement. For my next project, I'll build a proper drill press table so I can avoid all of this excessive clamping. Then I drilled through 5/16 inch holes, the size of my bolts. I temporarily connected the seat in the back section so that I can get a size for the slats. I put all the resawed sections together so I could cut the length of the slats. Then I trimmed them in half. I would love to have had 2 inches, but since this was 3 3/4, I could only get the 1 3/4 inches. laid out the slats so that I could get as even placement as possible. I want to make sure that I had them further enough from the center connection where it wouldn't interfere with the operation. After I decided on the first placement, I started to drill and secure the slats. Unfortunately, my countersink drill bit and screwdriver tool failed me, so I have to do that process in 3 steps. I'll be using 1 5/8" exterior star screws. I realized that I could speed up this process by putting several pieces together with spacers and then drill them all at once. From a 3rd cedar plank, I went through the same process again so that I can get 2 36-inch pieces for the rear legs and 2 1-foot pieces for the headrest. I located the proper pivot point for the headrest, put a spacer underneath so it could rotate without hitting the slats. Then I screwed on the slats for the headrest. I drilled through the pivot points and then bolted on the headrest. I clamped down the already connected seat and backrest so that I could remove the bolts and get an accurate position for the holes for the rear legs. Then I drilled through the existing holes in the seat and backrest to get the hole for the rear legs. The only structural parts left is to get the feet, which will sit on the ground and support the unit, and the mechanism to tilt the back at different angles. I want the feet to hold the project 4 inches off the ground, but I wanted 1.5 inch overlap for extra support. So from a full 5.5-inch blocks, I made a 1.5 inch vertical cut and a 1-inch horizontal cut. I did this to 6 pieces so that I could have legs in the front, the rear, and the center for full support. I put the center as close to the pivot section as possible without interfering with its operation. Then I drilled pocket holes inside the feet for vertical support. And drilled 3 screw holes for horizontal support. I used wood glue to lock it in. And repeated the process for the other 5 feet. With that process finished, I filled all the gaps and screw holes with wood putty. And then sanded everything down. At this point, everything's on loose, and I'll have to figure out the exact friction points I need at each joint. Now I have to make the mechanism to adjust the seat back to different tilt angles. Because of the slat spacing and the thinness of the slats, I didn't think they were as strong as I wanted them to be. So I decided to fill those gaps with a little thicker sections of The additional slats were 1/8 of an inch higher, but it didn't affect the comfort laying on this bare, and you wouldn't feel it at all after a cushion was placed on it. I used a couple of scrap pieces to locate the best pivot points. I drilled 2 holes between the legs with my fastener bit to install a brace point, which will also act as a base for the pivot arms. I got the first position in the full upright set on the pivot arms. Then made 2 more notches for the incline positions. Did a final finish sanding. Then I installed and tested the pivot arms. It turned out strong, sturdy, and comfortable. The only thing left to do is apply some varnish or polyurethane to protect it from the weather, even though that's not a critical aspect of this because the whole purpose of it being foldable is so I don't have to leave it out in the elements. I could fold it away when it's not in use. The rear leg's center brace point is the only thing designed to be removable, because with that in place I can't fold it upon itself. And that's the entire build. Hope you enjoyed it.